With a gun pointed directly at his head, Donnie Register had run out of options. And then the gunman pulled the trigger.
This is Miracles in the News.
Welcome back to Miracles in the News. Okay, Holly, tell us about the story you found.
Okay, well, our sister Julie sent this story to us again.
Thanks, Julie.
Yes, thank you. And it happened here in the U.S., but it was reported like all over the world. I mean, I found this in the New Zealand Herald, so it like got all the way around the other side of the world. And I found some YouTube videos that we can also listen to. So, fair warning, before I start, I just have to say it's kind of a short story, but it's a true crime story and you're not going to believe what happened. So we start out with a middle-aged man from Mississippi. His name was Donnie Register. He owned a small antique shop and he was working behind his cash register one weekend.
Donnie was working at his shop Saturday morning at the antique market in Jackson, Mississippi, when two men came in and wanted to talk about coins.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah, but unfortunately, these men were really not coin collectors. They were there for something else.
Their intentions were hidden under a veil of deceit. When Register retrieved the collection, one of the men pulled out a gun, pointing it at his head, and demanded money.
Oh my gosh, like what would you do in that situation?
I have no clue.
With a gun
Probably
in your face.
I would probably have a panic attack, honestly.
I would, yeah. I don't know what I would do. It would be so scary.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Donnie really didn't know what to do either. So he just gave the men all the cash he had, $6,000 in cash in his shop. And of course, he was hoping that would placate the men, that they would leave him alone, leave his shop, take the money and go. And it didn't work. They continued to stand there and point the gun at his head. At that point, Donnie realized they were probably going to pull the trigger.
The man with the gun looked at him and demanded money. And when the man reached over the counter with his pistol, Donnie put his hands over his face.
After Register handed over more than $6,000, the gunman pulled the trigger.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Crazy,
Scary.
right?
Okay.
But
So what
okay,
happened?
I have to ask you, Emily, do you see any way that this is going to end happily?
Well, I mean, this is a Miracle Files, but
True.
unless maybe the gun misfires, not really.
Right. So here's what happened.
As the bullet hurtled towards him, Donnie instinctively raised his hands in defense. What happened next was nothing short of a miracle. The bullet aimed for his head was deflected, its path altered by the very symbol of his marital vows, his wedding ring.
No way. That is crazy. So cool.
I know. What are the odds of that, right?
Wow. Okay, so was he still hurt?
Well, the wedding ring was dented and some bullet fragments did hit Donnie. But for being shot at point blank range, he was in incredibly good shape.
Wow.
I have a quote from his wife, Darlene, that I wanted to read. And she says, "The bullet went through 2 fingers without severing the bone. A part of the bullet broke off and went in his middle finger. The other part lodged in his neck, but it was not life-threatening."
Wow. Okay, so the bullet shattered, still injured him, but his wedding ring still saved his life.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And Darlene told reporters that she gives all the credit to God, which I thought was really cool. And Donnie told reporters, like, this is the cutest quote ever. Tell me it's not. He said, "I knew being married was a good thing. I just didn't know it was that good."
Oh my gosh. I love that. Marriage is the best. We agree, Donnie.
Yes, we agree. It's great.
Oh, that's such a cool miracle story. I love it.
Yeah. And seriously, we tell a lot of stories where I feel like a person helps another person, that God inspires to help them. But this was one where it just felt like God kind of just intervened himself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, what are the chances that the bullet would hit the exact spot where it would deflect off the ring and save his life? I mean, the chances of that happening had to be pretty low.
Yeah, that had to have been one solid wedding ring too, I would think.
That's true. I think about my husband's wedding ring is like one of those soft, like silicone wedding rings. I think.
Oh gosh, Blake's is too.
They would have been goners.
They would have been goners. Sorry, guys. Oh, but I think because this was such an extraordinary, crazy story, like that's why it was covered all over the world. And the news is often, pretty hesitant to call something a miracle, but it's clear that there were a lot of news stations that thought this was at least unexplainable, unbelievable, or what we would call miraculous. So,
yeah, definitely a miracle.
But like we were saying earlier, clearly you and I have no clue what we should do in a situation like this.
No.
So I found some tips on a website called AmericanGunAssociation.org on what we should do if we're held at gunpoint. And so if anyone out there, if this happens to you, we have some tips for you. So let's go ahead and read those. And will you read the first one, Em?
Okay, sure. All right. So the first one says, stay calm, which I'm sure is so easy when you got a gun pointed at your head, right? Like,
I knew you were going to have an issue with that one. I did too. I thought, are you kidding me? They always say that. Stay calm. Like,
that's so obnoxious. Like, can anyone actually do that in that situation?
I know. Like, do people actually control their emotions at that time? Like, when
apparently everyone but us. Okay,
apparently everyone but us.
But after you follow that impossible step, what's next?
The next one is assess the situation. And that means that, like, if there's anything you can do to placate the assailant, like you give them your car, your money, jewelry, whatever they want. Yeah, just try to get them to leave.
Okay. The next one says, think quickly. And again, like there's a gun pointed at your head and just think quickly. And clearly, I mean,
they make it sound so easy.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but like in these kind of stressful situations, I get lizard brain.
Wait, lizard brain, is that really a thing?
Yeah, like for real. I took this training from a police officer and he taught us about lizard brain. Like in these kind of stressful situations, people's brains turn to mush and they just can't think.
Well, I think I have that like every day.
Same. Happens a lot.
More but seriously,
like to admit.
Every time I've been pulled over, I give them my debit card instead of my license because I just can't think. And then they think I'm bribing them, and I'm like,
you're trying to pay them off.
I know, they seriously, like, they are like, are you trying to bribe me? And I'm like, no, I'm being stupid because I can't think under pressure. Now I can just actually explain what's happening. I'll just say, I have lizard brain.
You have
That's why I'm doing this.
It's a real thing, I swear. Look it up.
Gosh. Okay. But I do have to add, I thought this was really interesting. One part of thinking quickly is you're supposed to try to make eye contact with your assailant. And not like in a defiant, like, I want to fight you kind of way, but just to look at them in the eye and try to appeal to their humanity. And they said that even the most stone cold killers will not look their victims in the eye.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. So the next one is always be prepared. What is that?
Okay. And what they mean by that is to try and be physically fit, be able to run, be able to move quickly, and that will help increase your odds of your chances of survival.
Another reason to work out.
Yes.
All right. Okay, what's the next one?
And then act fast is the next one. And apparently there are some maneuvers that you can do to take away someone's gun. And there are several online courses and in-person trainers who can teach you how to do that. So we should probably take one of those classes, Emily.
Yes, let's do that. With all of our spare time, let's learn how to survive.
Yeah, we have so much free time. Let's do it.
Done.
Okay, finally, the last one.
The last one is avoid the situation. Well, I'm just going to skip all the other steps.
Yeah,
and do that
let's just do that one. Let's just avoid it altogether.
That sounds good to me. I like that one.
So obviously, if you can avoid places and situations that are more likely to be dangerous, that's the best policy.
Yeah, that's true. And clearly Donnie wasn't looking for trouble. He was just working.
You can't always just avoid the situation. But anyway, hopefully those are helpful to somebody out there.
Sorry for the ADHD version.
Yes. But in all seriousness, Donnie and Darlene, if you happen to listen to this podcast, we just want to say that we're so happy that things worked out the way they did for you.
Yeah.
And you sound like amazing, wonderful people.
Yeah.
And we think it's awesome that you gave all the glory to God. So we really wish you all the best.
God was definitely looking out for you. So we hope our listeners have enjoyed this episode. And don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends.
Thank you for joining us. If you have a miracle to share, contact us at themiraclefiles.com or find us on Facebook.
We're now releasing multiple episodes each month, so subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube for amazing video content as well.
Join us next time as we discover more of God's miracles. And don't forget to look for His light in your own lives.